Dope, man. Alright, kicking off another episode. This one's a bit unique because we're on the road in Adelaide. Just wrapped up making this documentary, and Kyle and I were filming like a social experiment type video yesterday in the city, and then we bumped into you because you were hanging out with some other content creators.
Yeah.
And here we are less than 24 hours later doing a pod.
Not making the pod. This is my first pod, by the way, too. So like super excited, like grateful for the opportunity too. So
hell yeah, man.
Really happy for it. It's such a coincidence because like not coincidence, but I had no clue that this was gonna unfold like this. It was literally just I was gonna meet up with Ivan, then Ivan brought parsley, and then we were like walking around and I was telling him like, dude, everyone's out filming content today. It was like you guys, everyone was out making content, and then we linked and there was that group for a bit. And then like, let's do the pod and stuff. So I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, it was so dope. It was I know like you were talking to Kyle a bit, and I guess just give like a basic context to like who you are and what you do and stuff.
Yeah, so my name's Dion, live in Adelaide. I'm 25 years old. I guess in regards to like occupation or what I do, I'm a crypto trader. So I do that full time, make lots of content like on YouTube, TikTok, like Instagram. I'm a content creator and my content's based on my trading. Before that, I was an athlete. So that's what I was talking to you guys about with the kiteboarding, right? Exactly, started when I was really young, I think about 12 or 11. I got pretty good and started competing, but it's not something I really wanted to do. Now I think this is like a really cool thing, right? Because it was something like my dad really wanted me to do, and because I'm like young and he's my dad, so it's like, you do what your parents tell you to do. So I went out, started competing, started training, and I think that part of my life from 12 to about 17 when I stopped, it was because it's a competitive sport at a somewhat high level, and you have to be like trained like psychologically. You got to deal with stress, you got to understand how to deal with like fear, you got to understand how to keep yourself calm, grounded, focused. And I think that like couple years, what I learned in there has really transferred into everything else I do, and that's why I feel like I'm like good with trading. It's all about managing your fear and your greed, having a balance.
It's an interesting perspective. So you feel like if you didn't do that stuff when you were younger, you feel like you wouldn't be the trader you are now?
Not at all, because it was just from a very young, because my dad was also a competitive badminton player, and so he had his team had sports psychologists and stuff, so they would really teach him all this stuff, and then he passed that on to me. And from a young age you learn how to identify your own emotions, be very self-aware with your emotions, sort of how to manage that in situations, like how to if you're about to go compete and this is like the finals or something, heart's racing, it's like you got all these thoughts like, if I don't win then I'm second, but I want to be first, and it's all you can think about. You got to learn how to like calm that down, think very logically, perform the best that you can, and just try and clear your mind. But easier said than done.
Did you feel like you were a bit ahead of the curve in terms of your peers at that time, because not everyone is a like competitive athlete at such a young age trying to get
somewhat
places?
At a few things. So ahead of my peers, I guess. See, I don't want to sound cocky about it, right? But when I was in high school, I knew that I was a little bit ahead in regards to like my mentality and stuff, just because I feel like the way I was raised from a young age, it wasn't like I wasn't really given too much slack. So I think my head was pretty switched on at that point, but then again, I also have my downsides. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do, right? Because the sport, I didn't really want to do it, to be honest. I remember competing in the nationals and calling my dad like, look, I just finished another round, like I just want to come home, I don't want to do this anymore, like I didn't really want to do it. So when I was at school, I felt very like directionless, like I didn't really know what I wanted to do at all. So I had no interest in school. I thought I was just going to drop out in year 10 and then just pursue professional kiteboarding, to be honest, and just make money from that and not have to go to uni and stuff. But I got injuries, like so both my knees have these massive lumps on them, so where your quads attach, I had so much strain in my quads that it started peeling the bone back on both my knees, so I couldn't walk upstairs, I couldn't run. I was like, it was really bad for a while, and got pretty depressed with that stuff because I love sport, I love fitness, and now I can't run, I can't jump. So I didn't know what to do at that stage. Saw like lots of physios, no one could really fix it, and being the person I am, I'm like, I don't want to rely on anyone, I'm gonna do this myself. So I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, if this is caused by tight quads, then loosened my quad. So I just started foam rolling and fixed everything.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah,
that
like,
actually sorted it.
Yeah.
It's a great
Sorted
practical approach. Did you also find being a bit sort of disconnected from the school scene and almost, as you said, like you didn't really care about school at all? Did you find that affected your friendship groups and your friendship circles and who you could connect with?
100%. So because of this like mentality I had, I wouldn't say I was hanging around with like the smart kids and stuff, because they were like focused on their study, this and that. Wasn't too interested. I wanted to have more fun, experience more stuff. So my friendship group was definitely sort of affected by that. I was also with people who shared that mindset of they don't want to be there. Now, if you don't, there's a lot of reasons why people might not want to go to school, either because they know they don't need to and they want to pursue something else, maybe because they just genuinely don't want to go to school and they're drop kicks or something because they're like forced to. So I mixed into the whole bunch of it, and it was very, very interesting. Met a lot of different people. I put myself in some situations, certain people.
That's interesting, because like you're talking about having like a really strong mentality,
but
then you were also mixing with some potential people who may not have a strong mentality.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
how was that? Was it confusing?
It is very confusing, but you become your environment. Started hanging out with those people, and even though I have had that mindset, I started picking up these habits, started thinking it's normal to do some of these things that these kids were doing. So from 17 to about 19 or 20, it was like the wild phase for me. That's when shit just like hit the fan. I'm just trying to like not say too much, but I was just hanging around with some not good people who didn't do some like good things. I just got caught up in it, and eventually I had this experience with like psychedelics, and just overnight it's like no more.
What was that experience like? And what psychedelics?
So I did magic mushrooms, and actually it was a funny story, because the way that I got them is this person that I know, they paint trains and stuff, and he's like, dude, I need a driver, like drop me off and then spin around, pick me up, and then dash after I've like painted the trains and stuff. So
wait, when you mean paint trains, do you mean like the tagging?
Yeah, tagging trains. Yeah, so it was like painting the trains, and then I was like, nah, like, not too keen. And he's like, dude, but I got shrooms. I was like, I've never had shrooms before, say less. So did the deal, whatever. And then I went home that night. I didn't know what to expect, because for me, like at the point, it was just like a fun thing. I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll have some shrooms, watch some movies, this and that. But it was like not what I expected. I can't even describe it really, but I thought I was gonna die. It was just the craziest experience, but the biggest impact was like I was laying in bed and I had this vision, right, of just, it was like a third person perspective. I just like got out of bed in my underwear, walked out the house, and just like walked to the beach. And then that made me think like, dude, if I want to go to the beach right now, I can. I don't need a bus, I don't need a car, I don't need shoes, I don't need it. I can just go to the beach. And then that translated into everything. I was like, if I want to like be a trader, for example, I wasn't trading at the time, but if I want to just quit uni and be a trader, I can do it. If I want to do this, I can do it. So that gave me that I can do anything I want mentality. And right from then I was like, nah, I'm gonna drop out. And
that's beautiful. And it was just a flick of a moment.
It was literally overnight, flick of the moment. Like it was nuts.
And what was your like kind of experience or preconceived thoughts with psychedelics prior to that point?
I was interested because I had been watching videos prior to it. So a little bit of a background. When I was about 16, 17, when I started like hanging around with like my other friends, I got introduced to weed. So I became a pretty heavy stoner at some point. And it was just like the next progression, right? It's like, weed does this and that, but psychedelics really opens your mind. And I've always been a like spiritual person. I wanted sort of like, I want to connect to that higher consciousness or whatever. So when he said he has the shrooms, I was like, oh, this is my chance here. But I was just gonna take him and watch a movie, but started like panicking, like freaking out, had the worst anxiety. I just like laid in my bed. I felt like my body like disintegrating into like little pieces until it was like nothing but my eyes. I could see, but I felt like I had no body or no physical being. So I was like, I'm everything but nothing at the same time.
Whoa.
And then I started convincing I'm like, dude, I'm God. I'm actually God. It was nuts. But I came down. I had that vision of me walking to the beach. And yeah, man, after that, I took my own life and just threw it the other way and just.
Because you had your hands on the wheel. And what did that look like? What were your friends, what were your family like when you just drastically changed?
I ditched all my friends because I thought that if I wanted to do something properly, I really have to focus. So I told all my friends, like, look, I'm going to get into this trading thing. I didn't tell them I was going to get into trading. I just said I had something I really want to work on, so I'm not going to be able to spend much time with you guys anymore. So these were like my sport friends and stuff as well.
Interesting.
How did they take that?
Not good. It caused a lot of drama. They started saying I was like really selfish. They were saying like, oh, if you really cared about us, you wouldn't just leave us like this. And I'm like, I'm not saying I'm leaving you guys. I'm just going to spend less time with you. But we had this huge argument. So that ruined everything. But I don't regret it.
Yeah, it was a necessary step in the right direction.
Very necessary step. Awesome. Even my roommate, which I'm living with at the moment, when I had that like switch, he was one of the he was my best mate in high school, and I just ghosted everyone, man. I was in COVID isolation like before COVID like hit, and all I did was just trading, learning, working on my craft. So my life did just. It took a very different direction, and I stopped doing sports. Like it was a bit obsessive, to be honest. There was no balance. It was just work.
So is that what it looked like? So when that switch happened, it was like ghost all your friends, and it was pretty much just like, what were you doing with your time? Were you living by yourself at this point?
Oh, I was still with my parents.
Okay, so you were living at home then?
Still with my parents. So ghosted everyone. Just spent like no time with anyone, pretty much. Literally just working. And the thing is, when I made that decision to like drop out and do trading, I recorded a video and put it on YouTube, and ever since I've been filming like the entire journey.
That's right. Yeah, you were telling that yesterday.
So there's that video of me like, hey, I'm gonna drop out and do this trading thing, and I had no clue what it was. I'm not gonna lie. I just typed in on Google like how to get rich quick or how to make money without a degree, I just kept seeing day trading. So I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I wrote this letter for my dad because like I had to approach him and tell him I'm dropping out of uni, this and that, and Asian parents, they want things to be a certain way, but I'm so lucky. Like my dad's chill as fuck, so he was like, look, if that's what you want to do, I will support you, but if you fuck up, it's on you. So like then I started realizing, fuck, like it is like I can't really rely on anyone.
What a great way to put it. That's so good, because he's like, I believe in you, but it's also like, if you don't get this right, that's your problem.
Exactly. So
it's the other side of your, I guess, vision of going to the beach. It's you can take yourself to the places you want to go, but you can also take yourself to the places you don't want to go, and you have your hands on the wheel.
You never know. So like, I really like this, and I feel like it was very important for my growth as a person. So I spent most of my life like very sheltered, not gonna lie. Just very sheltered, like dad's working, stay at home mum, everything done for us. I really didn't struggle, to be honest. But with that being said, I understood what it took to become successful, to get where you want to go. You have to struggle, because if you don't struggle, then you don't build your character, you don't gain these skills, you don't really develop as a person to get there. Like it takes a certain person to get there. You can't just slip and fall into success.
What gave you that awareness? Like who did you see?
I went to work with my dad one day, and so it's a reoccurring thing. My dad's a huge part of everything, like everything. So I went to work with my dad one day, and he has his own business doing testing and tagging. So just testing electronical appliances, making sure no one's going to accidentally get zapped or whatever. Tags it, says like, oh, this will be tested in 3 years, just for like health and safety and stuff. So I went to work with him, and as we were working, he had his radio, and just kept going, and he's like, oh, it's lunchtime. I was like, oh, okay. So I got up my food, started eating, but I was like, where is he? And he just kept going. I was like, why aren't you taking a break? He's like, well, I don't need a break. I work and get the job done, and then I have a break. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And after a couple weeks working with him of just this, I really started getting to see his mindset, how efficient he was working. I started to see like he really didn't give a shit about the breaks. He just knew like, this is the task, I get it done. Nothing else matters at that point. And I really got to see how he worked, because before that I've never went to work with him or anything. So I picked up this mindset, and I started realizing like, oh, this is what I want to be like. I want to have that sort of mentality, that hustle. And then I backtracked from there, like, how do I get there? And I started remembering all the stories he was telling me. So he was born in Vietnam during the war, came to Australia. They pretty much lived in poverty. He was telling me stories about you know, fucking not even having backpacks to go to school. I had to bring like plastic bags, like
Damn.
really like had nothing sort of thing. And he was telling me like, look, I would not be the person I am now unless I went through the struggles. Because if you go through some really, really tough, hard shit at the start, then everything else seems like easy. So that's why he would always tell me, do the hard things first, and then you can relax. That's why he didn't take the breaks during work. He just got shit done, then took the break. So then I started thinking, well, I live a easy life. And he would say that, he's like, look, I live the hard life. I want to give you guys an easy life. I'm like, no. I don't want that, because what if something happens to you, then we're all fucked. So I wanted to take matters into my own hands. So I'm like, how do I make myself struggle? And I decided to go like the wrong path. So that's like mixing in with the wrong people, because I just wanted to feel like I needed to work for something. Like I don't want to complain because I feel like fucking privileged or whatever, but if I said like, oh, I want this, I always got it. To some extent, like it's not like I want a car, like I'm not fucking rich or anything, but you know, my dad will do what he can to, because he never had that as a kid. So when he had kids, he wanted to give us what he never had, but I wanted to struggle. So I started putting myself in situations. I got pretty hooked on like weed and stuff. That made things pretty hard for me. And then eventually I lost that vision of like, hey, I'm only doing this to make myself stronger. And then I got to come back. I got lost.
You fell too far into it.
Fell too far into it. Had some altercations in year 12, which ultimately nearly led me to like being locked up.
Really?
Which is horrible. Like, yeah, my parents don't know about this.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
hey, if you
shit.
guys are watching this. Yeah. Lucky I didn't.
What was that time like?
Horrible, man. I developed this very not street mindset, but the people you hang around with, like I said, you pick up on their mannerisms and everything. It's just the people, and with them it's like they don't tolerate shit. They don't, if someone says something bad about them, it's like, okay, it's on site, we're gonna fuck you up sort of thing. And I started picking up on that, and I started becoming extremely aggressive person. You know, I'm small. I've been picked on like throughout primary school for always being small, this and that. And in high school, I finally like found something I liked. Started doing bodybuilding. I felt good about myself. I'm like, oh, I'm not small anymore, because I like I got bigger. Now I found out that these kids in my school were like taking screenshots of me and then posting it within their chat. And I was like, nah, you're getting stabbed tomorrow. So I told my best mate, and I was like, dude, I'm coming to school tomorrow, and he's fucked. And then he had to tell them like, dude, like fucking don't come, Dion's coming. So I went to school and I was like, that's weird, why is their whole group is not there or whatever. And so thankful that never happened.
Do you think you would have gone through with it?
Yeah, dude, I was literally in school with my jumper. Like, I remember it clearly. Walking into school, year 12 jumper, hands in pockets, had the blade in there. I'm just like looking for him.
Holy shit,
I was
man.
dead set on it, man. Wow. Dead
So
set on
like,
it.
if those guys were there,
Oh,
you
yeah.
honestly think that you would have
Oh,
actually gone through with it?
100%. I was fucking crazy. I swear to God. Like,
So was that like, because that didn't happen, did
Yeah.
did that make you realize anything, or it just didn't happen and then you kept going down that path?
I should have taken it as a sign, because I mean, look, I said I'm a spiritual person, right? And I guess spirituality is there's no universal term. I think it means something different for everyone. So I could have seen this as like a spiritual sign, like it's not meant to happen. Don't do this, you know? But I didn't think anything of it. Whatever. They talk. I don't know what happened. I calmed down at some point. Didn't feel like doing it anymore. I think I just got riled up into my emotions and stuff. And see, that's the thing. It's ironic because throughout my whole teenage years, I was training myself to be in control of my emotions. When I started like smoking and doing this and hanging out with these people, I lost control of my emotions. You know, I would hear someone like, oh dude, they're sending pictures of you in their group chat. Oh, I want to stab him. Like, you know, like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's totally like the
Yeah.
opposite of what you want it to be like.
exactly. So I did get lost in that hole, but then I had the psychedelics. Things just just changed. It was literally overnight. It's crazy. Of course, like there would be times still like in the following weeks I would be in communication with some people here and there, but I really like inside my mind I knew that I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Yeah.
No way. Like I don't want to. I got too much shit to do. I got like 3 younger siblings.
Yeah.
If I I got locked up or whatever, a few years later, my parents split up. So what happens? Like I'm like locked up. My mom's like left the country. Then it's my dad who's like the breadwinner of the family, having to take care of my 3 younger siblings. Like I just thought it'd be really selfish for me to do that to the family. So yeah, like dude, it's crazy. Like thinking back to it, I'm a different person to who I was in high school.
Sounds it. Knowing that that was kind of your intention to seek discomfort to promote growth, and knowing that you took it a bit too far and sort of lost that control and that vision, now that you're like on the right path, what does seeking discomfort look like for you today?
Pushing my mindset, like for me personally, discipline is the most, it's the hardest thing for me. So when I try and push myself now, put myself into discomfort, it's always doing things I don't want to do. My other roommate goes to the gym. Like he wakes up religiously 5 a.m. every morning, goes to the gym 5:30. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. But I do that as much as I can with him. Not gonna lie, been a little bit slack, but it's because I'm staying up like fucking, if I wake up at 5, I'll get like 4 hours.
Yeah, which is not ideal.
Yeah, so I try to push myself like mentally, and I think that's the biggest thing, but in all aspects. So gym, even if it's just I'm doing a set, if I'm like done my 8 reps or 10 reps, I think like, can I bang out another 2-3 more for the set? And I'll really try and push it, and that's how I'm seeking discomfort. Even like putting out videos, even this, I've never like shared this stuff publicly, by the way.
Which is probably massive for you. We were talking about that yesterday. You're like, shit, like some of the things that I would talk about, I haven't actually told anyone.
No one, man. Only like my closest friends, like 2 people.
Wow.
So this itself is me seeking discomfort.
Which is beautiful. Like actually gave me chills.
I know, me too. And that's, when you were saying like the stuff about the stabbing, I was like, that is nuts. But like, dude, and like that's what we're about. Like we love talking about this sort of stuff. It was so cool to come across. Like your perspective is so unique because you were trying to seek that discomfort and you went down the wrong path. But there's still a right path for people who want to do that. So
there is.
If you were to give someone like, say they were 16, 17 in a very similar position to you, very like sheltered growing up, but they realized, okay, I need to seek some discomfort, some struggle just to actually get further. What sort of advice would you give to those people? What path would you lead them down?
I would say like push the mindset, because that's your biggest asset right there. It's your mind. And I feel like all discomfort, I think the most important kind of discomfort is the mental discomfort. Training your brain. So I would say like, look, gym, fitness, if you're not already training, dude, do it. It's like, it's healthy, it's good for you. It's not going to do you any harm. It's going to make you feel good. You get that natural high. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better about yourself. Your self-esteem's getting there. And no matter how hard you gym or whatever, no matter how strong you are, you can always consistently push harder. Just add 5 more kilos. It's easy.
It's limitless.
It's limitless, and it's so easy to control. It's healthy. It's good for all aspects. Like I push that hard. Like I would go to the gym, find out, well, first you need a goal, right? So figure out what you want to do at the gym first. Either it be bodybuilding or powerlifting, it's calisthenics. Like figure out what you want to do and just go harder. Just keep trying to push yourself further and further. And when you get that thought in your head that's like, why should I do this? Nah, that's discomfort, and your brain's trying to pull you away from that. So go through with it. If you don't want to do it, go through with it.
And it's so accessible, especially like calisthenics. Anyone can do a push-up anywhere or do a pull-up, whatever it is. But it's so true, man. Like physical exercise is one of the best things that you can do. With the trading thing, so you mentioned like basically how you got into it was Googling how to get rich fast.
Isn't that nuts?
So stupid, man.
Is the like that right there is clearly the motive is money and finance. Is that still the main focus, or what drives you?
So it's in layers. So I'd say like the superficial layer, it's like first of all, I need to make my ends meet. So I've moved out of home, and for a while when I was at home, I was dependent on like the family for, financially. And when I was going through this, like, no, I want to make things hard for myself, but in a healthy way. After that phase, I was like, okay, well, I want to make things hard. So I want to depend on myself financially. So I told my dad, like, nah, no more. I don't want anything. I don't want any handouts. I'm going to do this shit myself. So then I also moved out, because now it's like I've jumped in the deep end. It's like, okay, I have to make sure I'm buying food for myself. I have to make sure I can make rent. So I put myself in that like harder position. So money is the big thing. I feel like, money matters. You need money to live, and full stop, right? You need the money to live. But then my higher goals would be using that money for other things. So I have this thing I'm trying to start. It's called Shine. So it's sort of like a brand, or I guess it's like a brand. So what I want to do with Shine is I want to accumulate as much money as I can through trading, then use that money to support local businesses, or just genuinely businesses I like, because I'm sure there's hundreds of people out there who want to do something they may need the money, but they don't know how to get it. So I want to come in as that guy, like, hey, like, I fucking love what you're doing. I can see like the vision. Take it. You do what you want, and then you take this, do what you want. And I just want to kickstart everything for like a lot of people and just build people up. Like, that's why it's called Shine. I want people to shine.
That's sick. Like, they have the innovation, but you have the wealth to back it.
Exactly.
Because that's like, I feel like a lot of people either have one or the other. They have the wealth, but not the vision.
Exactly.
Because most people have the vision, but then they don't have the wealth.
Yeah. So I want to come through and, you know, brighten them up a little bit. I want to shine, give them
That's a great name. I love that name.
Thank you. So
it's also a great motive for money. A lot of people, I find, when their goal is fixated on finances, it's quite a selfish thing of, you know, I want money so I can be rich and have a mansion and go on holidays all the time. But like, your clear goal is, obviously everyone wants to have like some level of financial freedom, but then on a deeper level, it's to just help other people fulfill their dreams.
Yeah, because I see a lot of like local businesses, like my friends will try and start things, and I'm like, dude, I really like this, and it'd be awesome just to kickstart it with funding, and just, dude, it'd make me so happy just to see their vision grow and flourish. Like, that's what would make me really happy. So that's like one of the things. The other thing is, I want to provide education to third world countries, because, you know, my dad, he came from Vietnam, and I've seen everything he's able to achieve in his life. I've seen the kind of life he was able to give me and my 3 other siblings, and I'm like, dude, there's millions of kids out there who probably have the drive, they have the determination, they want to do things, but they're stuck in this situation, which is not their fault. They did not choose to be there. And, you know, they could be like my dad, you know, they could have the potential to raise a great family and just, you know, do good things in the world. So I want to be able to provide that. I want to provide the education for these kids who they're in this situation, they didn't choose to. And let's do something like that. So providing education to third world countries, just helping the people who like can't do shit about their situation, and then just helping local businesses that I like, stuff like that. It just makes me happy. It's very like, I don't really give 2 shits about like what I'm doing for myself or whatever. I really like to, what makes me happy is doing shit for other people.
I was going to ask you, like, what do you want?
I don't know, man. I just want to be successful with trading so I can do everything else. But I mean, material items, like, yeah, it would be sick to have a Ferrari. It's a big goal of mine. I'd love to have a big mansion. Like, get that for my family. Like, again, it's for my family. I could live in this apartment, man. Like, I'm happy with that. It's chill. Just got like my own little space. Got my trading. I got my 2 best mates. Like, dude, I can't.
Yeah, how can you complain?
Yeah, I can't complain. So that's what I want to do. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, no, just like, what do you want? But you pretty much answered it. And in terms of trading, how difficult, and obviously it seems like something you just continuously learn forever and ever, but how hard was it getting into it? Like, where did you start? Because you went from someone that knew nothing.
Yeah, I started
YouTube University.
On YouTube, just started just watching countless YouTube videos from different people explaining different concepts. Fuck my head a little bit because everyone's saying something different about this. But then eventually I started getting the hang of like the basics, the principles, and yeah, it took me a while, like a year to kind of get a grasp on something. Then so with trading, you can get funded. Now, what that means is that as long as you can prove you're profitable to a big company that provide funds, then they will give you like whatever, like 50k, 100k, whatever, as long as you can prove you're profitable. So for me, that was the next step. So I was like, okay, I know how to trade. Let's try and get funded. Now, I've attempted twice, failed both times. So now I've realized like, okay, this is probably not the way I'm gonna go, because when you get funded, it's like trading it already is such a mentally demanding, stressful, psychologically like head fuck. It's already crazy. Now, when you go for these funding companies, they now imply rules. You have to do this in this much time. You can only lose this much. You can't trade during this time. You can't trade during news of it. Like, they put all these rules. It makes it way harder. Then my mate Ali told me, he's like, dude, these funding companies are not here to fund you so that you can be a good trader. They're here to just take money from all the other people trying to get funded, because you have to pay a fee. You do the challenge. If you pass, they keep it. If you win, you get your that feedback. So these companies are making millions of dollars off people like myself who want to just then it's a greed thing, because oh, if I can just make 10%, I can get this 100k account. And then say you're like, at the time my rough like percentages was about 5 to 8% a month. 5 to 8% a month. So you do the math, you do like 5 to 8% of 100k USD a month. It's like, oh shit, I can make a living off of this. So I wanted to do that, but I failed both times. So now I'm just trading my own funds. But yeah, the leading up to like the whole learning process was crazy because dude, like this is the nuts thing. Like recently, maybe 3 months ago, I came across a trader who taught completely different. Like it was a whole nother like language, and I watched his videos, and after watching them I was just like, oh shit, I don't know shit. Like, I wasted 2 years thinking I knew what I was doing, but it's all luck. It was all fucking luck that whole time. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I knew what I was doing, and then and it was crazy because this happened just after I failed the second funding challenge. I failed it, and I was like, fuck, whatever. And I was just watching some YouTube videos, other traders, and someone mentioned something, ICT, and I was like, who's ICT? Then that's how I found that trader, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to unlearn. So something about me is I do and think later. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna unlearn everything I've just learned and just go all in on this. So I literally ditched everything that I learned over the past like 2 years. And then went all in on this, but because I got like the background experience with the like psychology and understanding the charts and stuff, I picked it up pretty quick. So yeah, like I did spend the first 2 years thinking that I was improving. Somewhat I did, like my mindset and other things, but my actual trading itself, it's like mostly luck, because I went back, I pretty much, I document every single trade I take. I went back to those old trades, and then I started analyzing it. I'm like, oh, the only reason these trades were successful is because what this dude is teaching, it just happened to match up with that.
No way.
You were just unaware that it was happening.
Just unaware, yeah. So that was a mind-blowing experience, man. Like that was crazy. I just sat there thinking, like, fuck, I just wasted like two and a half.
Yeah, you just got humbled.
Yeah, got humbled real quick. Quick.
So what is that method that he teaches?
So pretty much when in trading, right, there's a lot of there's a lot of scams and stuff. So people will do the flashy Lambos, whatever, materialistic items. Hey, you can do this too, buy my course. That's how all these traders make their money. Like traders themselves, it's hard to find a trader who only makes their money through trading. Because these guys, they they may trade, but they push this image. They get people to buy their course and they make
which is more reliable.
Right?
Yeah,
because then they're just relying on people's like intuition.
Exactly. And then what they do is like signal services, which means, hey, you don't even have to learn. Sign up to my Telegram for $20 a month. I'll just send you the trades, and then you just take those trades I send you. Stuff like that. So when I saw this guy ICT, he sort of exposed that side of it, and he was talking about retail, which is people who aren't banks and institutions, just your everyday trader. He was explaining pretty much why everyone loses, because there's a statistic: 90% of traders will lose 90% of their capital within 90 days. So, and then you can go onto the brokers and you can view this, like the statistics of who's losing, who's winning. So he was explaining that what these firms and brokers do, I don't know if you've seen the ads like, oh, join this platform and you get $10 free Bitcoin or something like that. There's a lot of those things. So they want you to come in, they're enticing you, then you'll put your funds in, and they know you're going to lose because you don't know what you're doing. And what they do is, because they have all that information, right? Now, like if you put the numbers together, if 90% of retail traders are losing, right, then if you have millions of retail traders on your platform trading, you have access to every trade they're taking. So you don't even need to think. You can just take the opposite side of their trade, and you're 90% of the time going to be right. So yeah, it's crazy. They bring in all these people, and that's what these big companies do. And what this guy teaches is, he's like, look, I'm going to teach you how to take the other side, pretty much. So
That's fascinating.
I was a retail. I mean, I traded like that for 2.5 years. So I wouldn't say it's a waste. I was trading these methods, which are all wrong. This is why everyone's shit at trading. But knowing this, I was like, okay, I understand the mindset of what someone like me or an average retail trader will be thinking. So I combined that with what he's teaching, and now I've understood to find like, okay, this is where people want price to go to, so I know it's not going to be going there. It's actually going to go up. It's going to take all their money and then go back. So I've started trading with this method of taking the opposite side of the trades to retail traders.
How long have you been doing this for?
like a few months now.
Okay.
Just a couple months. I only just finished like my testing phase, so that's when I'm going back through the charts. I'm looking at previous data and then putting this strategy together. Just trying to find out, like, you know, what time does this occur? How often does this model occur? And I'm a very big statistics guy. I chart everything. I put all the numbers together, and then I combined all of it into this one sheet. And this one sheet literally just has 3 steps. Wait for this. When this happens, do this. And now every single day at the exact same time, I'm following my sheet. Now I'm just taking those trades and just gathering that information. And now I'm trading with live funds, but not very much because I am still somewhat testing this. But so far so good. I'm very happy with it. I do want to put more funds into it soon. So it's been a crazy journey.
How have you found your ability to disconnect your emotions from like your results in trading?
It's pretty easy, to be honest. I've gotten to that point. This is when I was maybe 2 years in. I just started looking at things extremely literally, and it's like it's just numbers on a screen. And you have to have that long-term mindset, because you're not gonna win every single trade. Like you're bound to lose it. Like some of the best traders in the world will only win 40% of their trades. Some will only win 50% of their trades, maybe even less. So I've got that mindset. I've got that expectation that I will lose at some point. But as long as I stick to this plan that I know works because I've tested it historically back in time, as long as I stick to that, like historically, like it's just the law of averages. You keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it. Eventually, right? You're going to be profitable long term. So I accept the loss. Like I still lose, but if I lost, it's like, oh, it's okay. It just didn't work this time. Go to sleep, next day, same thing.
That speaks to your discipline. How you were speaking about discipline. It's like literally just follow it. You know what I mean? Like
this is the thing with trading, man. Like trading really changed my life, because to be a successful trader, you need to be this certain type of person. You're not going to be a good trader unless you develop that extreme discipline, unless you develop extreme control of your emotions, and you're just strict with it. Just that sort of stuff. So for me, I was like, okay, I need to be a good trader. So I need to get my shit together. I need to start going to the gym consistent. Like, and that's the thing. People don't realize. They think like, if I want to be a good trader, I just have to trade. It's like, dude, no, trading's like this much of it. Most of it is like, you know, can you sit in your room and meditate for like an hour? Like, can you control these thoughts, or not control these thoughts, but like, can you deal with like your own thoughts? Can you go to the gym every single day, even if you don't want to? And all these things outside of trading build you up as a character, build you up as a person, good enough to perform well.
It's like any like professional sport, how like they do most of the work is just through the training, and then like you go do the 100-meter sprint, you're literally running 100 meters. Who's not like, that's the easiest thing, but it's all the work they put in before.
All the background work, man. Like training is 10% charts, 90% psychology. Like the technical analysis it's easy. Honestly, I think anyone could, if they learn from the right people and if they put in the right time, I genuinely believe you can learn technical analysis in like 6 months, like easy. And the rest of it is just your mindset. How do you deal with the fact that, you know, you've entered a trade and now you see like you're in some profits? Like that does some shit to your head. Even if it's not very much profits, you start like, should I pull out? Is it going to go back down? But what if it keeps going up? But like, it fucks with you. And then it's like, what happens when you're in the loss? You're like, no, it's gonna come back up, it's gonna come back up. I'll hold. But you got to do things opposite. Like you got to cut your losses quickly, and you got to hold on to your winners. And it's much easier said than done. Like at the moment, I'm in a trade. At the moment, it's a long-term trade. I mean, look, I'm holding this. It went into drawdown, meaning like I was in a loss and stuff. I'll be able to show you guys on the charts now.
Sick.
But it's like, I saw it last night and it's like, okay, I'm in a loss, whatever. I've done my analysis. I trust in this. Just went to sleep and whatever. And so at the moment we are, how's it going? I think I actually got rid of like the profit and loss thing on the chart. Okay, well, I can't show you. I deleted it. Yeah, sorry, I forgot where I was going.
No, all good. I was going to ask you, so you said like you're in the trading world, you're very good at looking at things literally. Do you find that is a downfall in other parts of your life, or do you find you can like have the empathetic and emotional side switching on?
So funny you mentioned that, because I had a funny altercation with someone the other day about this. So I see things very literally, very logically. I'm very like a numbers person. I may be like autistic, I don't know, and like genuinely mean that, because I it's very hard for me to pick up on sarcasm and shit like that, because I take things way too literally. So I was I had a dinner planned with my friends, and then I had another friend message me, and they're like, oh, like, just cancel it. Just fucking cancel your dinner and go. And I got really pissed off.
Because your other friend wanted to hang out with you?
Yeah, and because I told them, like, this is very unfair for you just to message me out of nowhere, tell me to cancel all my plans on the Friday and expect me to go. No, that's extremely disrespectful and selfish. I got pissed off at them. I started sending these voice messages like, dude, I've made these plans. You can't just message me and tell me to cancel everything. And they're like, dude, it was a joke. Chill. And I was like, oh, shit. So, and there's lots of different situations like that.
Have you always been like that, or did you develop that through trading?
No, I think I've always been.
So it actually is like a skill then. You're using it to your advantage.
Yeah, I just didn't know that I didn't see it as a skill, because I mean, growing up, like my dad would say like, no, you're autistic, like, and I was like, oh, okay. So I just thought, but I never realized like, oh, it's got some strengths to it, because I have 100%. That ability to just block out emotions, see things completely literally and logically, and just give a fuck about what I think, sort of thing.
So you're always aware of the weaknesses and the downfalls to that kind of mindset, but then as you've grown up through life, you've now using it to channel it for the best, which is awesome.
So good, dude.
Yeah, it's good. It's like, I mean, I've used this in like many different things, like breakups, for example. Yeah. Put that in my head. Okay, look, it was good. I enjoyed my time, whatever. If we broke up, it meant it's for a reason. What can I do after this? Sitting here moping about it, being sad. Look, it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna help me. It's not gonna solve anything. So move on, fuck it. And so, for example, that I get over breakups pretty quick. Some people, you know, they say some things about that, like, you're just toxic, or you didn't care about her, or whatever. It's not.
It's just a different it's just the way you process emotion.
Exactly. It's the way I've processed that emotion. It's like, look, this emotion is not necessary for me to get where I want to go. I'm gonna go back to high school real quick. I have a teacher, Mr. Everin Artist. He said something to me that stuck with me ever since he said that to the class. I got pissed because the kids were laughing at him, but what he said is that if what you're doing now is not helping you reach your goals, why are you doing it? And that applies to everything.
Facts, man. Yeah.
And I was like, shit, fuck, that's
the
true.
embodiment of your logic, hey?
Yeah, so when I went through like a breakup a couple months ago, and I was like a little bit sad. I was like, dude, is sitting here complaining to my friends, and I guess, look, I don't want to say venting is, if you want to vent and it helps, yeah, whatever. But for me, this is just me. Venting doesn't really help me. It gets me more riled up, because then I'm digging into the emotion more. So I leave it. I wouldn't say I'm bottling it. I just accept it and put it away.
Yeah, because I was going to say, someone's argument for you would say that you're not actually processing it all. You're just putting it on the back burner, and one day it's going to come out. Do you feel like you actually still process the emotion? Even though it's just doesn't take as long as what other people say it should take? I
do process the emotion. I process it very quick. Like I move quick. Like I'm fast. I got shit to do. I'm not gonna let this hold me down. Like that's sort of the way I think about it. But with that being said, I did have a breakup like 2 years ago ish. But then that's still on my mind, man. That hits deep. Like I still. When I was talking to my mate about it in the car, we was talking about it. I started like tearing up. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Why? Yeah. That's one thing I still couldn't get over. I still don't know why. I can't. Like, I find it very difficult to.
Do you like let yourself know that that's okay though, or do you think this is wrong? I need to move on from this.
I let myself know that's okay. She was very. So when I first started trading, right, it was her who I would go to her house. Like I would escape from my house because being the eldest child, I have
a lot
of the most responsibilities and stuff, and I just wanted to focus on my trading. So we became friends, and I would spend all the time at her place, and she would just let me stay there. She wouldn't bother me. I'd do my trading, this and that, and eventually, like, it was just a genuine friendship, right? And then we got very close. We got together, and she was like my first supporter. She would be with me as I was doing my trading and asking me questions about stuff, and like I can't let that. I'm extremely sentimental. Someone who's been with me from the start, I can't let that go. I refuse. Like I don't know if it's bad on my mental health, but I refuse to let that go. Like it's like you were there for me, like right from the start. I actually had a very intense situation too. I got into an argument. I let my emotions actually come out. and will not come out. Like I couldn't control these emotions at the time, and instead of lashing out on that person, I lashed out on myself. So like I sliced myself like down. I don't know if you can see that there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was so pissed. I was gonna hurt someone, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna hurt. I'd rather do it to myself. So I literally just fucking got the scissors and went straight down there.
Bro.
Still got the scar, and then I was so in so much shock. I was like, what the? I've never thought of self-harm. Never. It was so spontaneous. Like do first, think later sort of thing. So I did that. And I was like, fucking, what's going on? What's going on? I just called her. I'm like, yo, Alex, like I just like self-harmed or whatever. And she's like, yo, I'm coming to your house right now. So she had to catch a bus from the city. It would take like her 45 minutes or some shit to get there. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I'm fine, whatever. I could probably come to you. And she's like, no. But she was just about to get on the bus, and then my brother's like, okay, look, if you need me to take you to her, like I can take you. So ended up getting dropped off at her house, and I walk into her apartment, and first thing I see, there's just tissue box and tissues, and I was like, yo, what's wrong? Like, and she was like, yo, my cousin just died today.
Oh, whoa.
He died in a car crash. And I was like, you're grieving? Yeah, you're grieving over like your cousin. You're going through some hard shit, and the fact that you were gonna catch a bus at night to come see me, like that stuck with me, and it still does. I will never forget something like that. And that, I think that's why, like, I don't want to let go of something like that,
because that's such a genuine act of love and just so selfless.
Exactly. Unfortunately, like, she's not in Australia anymore. She was here to like study and work and stuff, but then she moved like back overseas. So we did do long distance for a while. It didn't really work, but that's still like I don't know, it's very, very important for me, like that,
which is beautiful.
I was gonna say there's nothing wrong with that. Like I feel like that's such a good thing to have, to put value on that, and to really hold on to it is something special. Even if it does maybe cause some pain or some hurt. It like, causes you.
I've gotten over it for the most part. Like that was honestly like one of the hardest times in my life, man. Like having to like driving her to the airport. Oh man, dude, that was intense. Like, and just a few days leading up to it and shit. Just knowing like, dude, she's leaving, and then driving her to the airport, and fuck, it was nuts.
How long were you guys together for? Like before the long distance?
Well, we were friends for a while. We were never like, I never asked her to be my girlfriend. We just got close and things just like happened sort of thing. But like, not too long, maybe. I would like to say roughly a year and a half. Something like that. But yeah, it wasn't official. We didn't believe in that. Like, and that's something else about me. Like, I don't really believe in labels. There's a lot of things which I don't believe in. Like, for example, my birthday. Like, I genuinely don't really care about my birthday. It's just like, look, I don't want to be told that, you know, this is the day you were born, go celebrate. I'm like, dude, I'm alive today. I'm going to celebrate today. And I'll be alive tomorrow. I'm going to celebrate tomorrow. I don't want to be told when to celebrate these things. Or for example, Valentine's Day. It's like, dude, if I love my girl, like, I'm not going to wait until Valentine's Day to do something special. It's like, if I'm going to give it to you every day. Like, I'm not, of course, like, I'm not going to be buying you presents and gifts and shit. But then that's a whole nother thing. Why should I need
the concept of like there being one day where you show love? That's just dumb.
I'm like, dude, I'll show you love every day if I love you, sort of thing. So that's the sort of like person I am, I guess.
Which is beautiful. I love that.
It's a bit different, and that's something that I've come to realize. And I do get into some clashes. Like, some people don't really agree with my mindset and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, I'm gonna do what I want to do because this is my life ultimately. I respect other people's opinions. I won't get upset at anyone if they disagree with me. Like, that's cool that you disagree with me. That I'd rather someone disagree with me than be like,
pretend to agree.
Exactly. So
what was the like, back to the self-harm, if you're open to talking about that? So you do it, and then what's like between the, I don't know, however long it was from when you did it to when you got to Alex's place, like what is going through your mind then? Like, have you calmed down by the time you get to
like, what the fuck did I just do, and why did I do this? I was just like, I was just looking at it, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? I didn't even want to do this. It was just a fit of anger. I really let that anger come out. And that, see, when I was in year 12, year 11, that was the side of me I really couldn't control. It was like I had really bad anger issues. I couldn't control it. But that moment right there, I flipped. Like, the anger came out. I couldn't control it. And after I had like done it, then I was just like, fuck, like, it was confusion. Confusion would be the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And then disappointment after, because then I was like, how could I disrespect myself? Like, this is my body, my being. I rely on this to live, to help others, to do everything. And here I just cut myself. Like, that's disrespectful to myself. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Where did that anger stem from, do you think?
I think it stemmed from when I was younger, because I was like really small. So I got like bullied for being really short. And then I went to like math school and stuff as well when I was younger. And these kids, like, it was like physically like bullying me, and that pissed me off quite a bit. And the fact that I was small and defenseless and couldn't stand up for myself, and that people could walk on me if they really wanted to. So then I started putting on a bit of muscle. I started like fighting, and I was like, oh, okay, now if someone wants to talk shit, like, I can handle myself now. So I started like, I let the anger sort of take over, and be like, nah, like, I just, all the pain and sadness that I experienced younger, that turned to anger.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just bad. Like, I remember even in uni, the first year of uni, I was like on my phone, someone called me, and then I was like messaging, and the teacher was being smart. I was like, oh, do you want to read out to the whole class what you're doing, this and that? And then I started, like, I had an argument with the teacher. I fucking got pissed, left the class, went into the bathroom, punching the floor, man. Like, yeah, just started whamming at the floor. And yeah, like it gets like that. Not anymore.
No, definitely.
I was gonna say, do you feel like you've moved past that, or still working through that? Or?
For the most part, I've worked through it. But that's not to say I will never be angry again. We're always going to get angry, but it's how do you deal with it? How do you deal with the anger?
It's the ability to process and like not be a slave to your emotions and control them. And I used to experience that. Like, I was a very angry child when I was younger, and I still remember the last time I ever like completely snapped and lost control. And I was like, I think I was 14 or around that age, and I was in the bush with my mates building a base.
Yeah.
And I think it was me and like two other guys just doing all the labor. Like, the other guys were just so lazy doing nothing. And I always loved being the hardest worker in the room, but it always pissed me off that there were those people that wouldn't work and could just get by in life. And I hated that so much. And I realized that, like, now I've come to realize that like they're only hurting themselves by doing that. But in the moment I was just so angry at them. And one of my mates, he put my bag up in the tree whilst I was like building this base. And then I remember like getting back to where my bag should have been. And I was like, where's my bag? And then he's like, just that cheeky laugh, and just looks up and goes, oh, it's up there. And I just snapped. I just grabbed him, threw him to the ground on the rocks. I think I was punching him and like put him in a headlock or something. I can't remember like what I exactly did, but I remember like everyone else being like, whoa, dude, like they were shocked. And it was that reaction, like getting up, seeing my friends looking at me like whoa, like almost scared of what I'd just done. I remember going home and just thinking about that. And I think as I've gotten older and a bit more mature and self-aware, I can understand that. And it's scary to think that I was in a place in my life where like my anger could control me. And
that is a frightening
I'm just lucky that it turned out in the way where, you know, maybe I hurt my mate, maybe he got a couple bruises or whatever, but it was nothing like long lasting major impact. And now it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I might get angry sometimes, but it's the ability to process it, and it's all right, what do I actually want to be in life? And a lot of the time it's just quite peaceful. I just like to be peaceful. So is anger going to help me get towards that place? No, it's not. So how do I deal with it? And it's usually just understanding that I can let it go. Like I don't know if I was saying it to you, but like I'm holding the rock, and it's like, why am I holding this rock? I could just let it go. I can put it down. If somebody else picks it up, that's on them.
Exactly.
And yeah, ever since I've sort of understood that, I've never snapped in that way before.
That's good. But with that being said, I do use anger as a fuel, but like in a different way. So for example, I see a really nice car drive past. Fuck, like I get pissed. I'm like, why don't I have that yet? Why don't I have that yet? Or I'm looking online, and then I see all these other kids who are like way younger, and I just get pissed. Like, fuck, why don't I have that? But then I convert that into motivation, and I'm like, fuck, okay, turn this off, go on the charts. I'm grinding. I just work, and I literally use that
as a motivator.
Yeah, and that's a big thing I've learned. Like, energy can't be destroyed, right? You can only be converted into something else. And I feel like these strong emotions are energy. Like, you can't just be angry and then destroy your anger. You can't just not angry anymore. I mean, I'm sure you could sit there and try and meditate through your anger. It's very hard. I've tried. But I would much prefer like use that anger and transform it and then push it into something positive. So
that's huge.
Yeah, it's
something that links back to when you were younger as well. And like,
yeah.
I guess any kid who sort of hears your story and is maybe in a similar spot, it could be like, convert the anger, convert all those feelings into something else rather than trying to just put it in the bin, because then you're just gonna, it's gonna lead you down the wrong path.
Yeah, exactly. And you like anger kills you from the inside too, man. Like it really does. It kills you. It's a poison. So for example, like you're younger, I didn't think of this consciously when I was younger, but when I was in year 6, I swear to God, I fell in love in year 6, man, with this chick. And,
bro, didn't we all? Like, I swear, like, legit, I fell in love with someone in year 6. I think you were saying the other day that you did too.
Literally. Year 3. I was like, I was weird about it, bro. So in year 3, I was obsessed with this girl, and she had like a circle rubber, and she broke it, like broke the circle and gave me a piece of the rubber.
Oh, that's
I
cute.
kept that rubber till year 9, dude, in my pencil case.
Bro.
Yeah. I was obsessed.
Shit, well, yeah, I had this kind of love in year 6, right? And I was obsessed with this girl, and I thought she liked me too, and I think she did. And then one day she's like, "Oh, Dion, I don't like you anymore because this guy has abs." And I was like, "Fuck!" Like, I got so cut, man.
Which does something to a kid as well, like.
It does, man. I got that thing is what stemmed pretty much fitness, training, everything for me.
Makes sense.
I went home and I was like, how do I get abs? I'm gonna do, and I started doing like heaps of sit-ups. I started trying to do heaps of sit-ups every day. Started training really hard. So I was pissed, I was angry, but I used that as motivation to better myself and just like, fuck, if he's got abs, but then again, it's like, that's not the right thing to do, because it's like, oh, she likes a guy with abs, so I'm gonna get abs.
Because it's out of, you're doing it out of resentment. You're doing it for someone else, not for yourself.
Exactly.
You need the motives to be sound, and ultimately the thing I like about life is the real motives and the like good motives that are going to be the only ones that are sustainable. I find like if you're only trying to get money so you can get yourself a nice house, like that doesn't sustain you, because you're eventually not going to be happy. You're probably going to fall into some form of depression, and then all of that's going to be gone. But when it's for the right reasons, when you're like that, getting abs for health and fitness and well-being, like that is sustainable, because you can wake up every day and want to feel healthy.
Exactly. And plus, like, I feel like when you have those like pure intentions, those things that you really want, you're willing to wait for them, and no matter how long it takes you can grind it out. But if you want something extremely superficial for like whatever reason, say you want that Rolex to impress that girl, and then you work really hard for like 6 months, 1 year, and you're like, oh, like it's just for a girl anyway. You give up on it. It doesn't really last too long,
because the value's not that true. It's not that deep.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was I don't know if it was a pod or a conversation or something in the last couple of days, but someone was talking about how like we all die in a room with a bed, a TV, and a chair.
Yeah.
Like all of us end up in that exact same spot in a hospital. Yeah. So it's like, what's the point of all these items that we're accumulating on the way?
Exactly, man.
When in the end, it actually doesn't matter. It matters about the people who are sitting around.
Yeah, all the memories and all that sort of stuff. Because like for a while when I was younger, I was extremely materialistic because of that. Like, I can openly say I was very self-conscious. I thought I needed big brands or something to sort of get that attention, and I just realized, I just looked like a dickhead sort of thing. And then realized like that's not what people actually care about. I realized like and because my younger sister started going into the same thing, and I was able to tell her like, look, people don't care what you have. It's more about like what you do. It's more about what you can do, not what you have. Like anyone can have anything, but only certain people can do certain things. That's what really matters. And when you're wearing these designer brands or whatever, like you walk through Rundle Mall, you get some people looking at you, but then like that's it. You get like that 2 seconds of validation.
And it's also like if you want people looking at you, like Andrew, the third guy we were with yesterday, had a dinosaur costume on, walking around the CBD of Adelaide. Like he got so many eyes, and that's no brand, that's no materialistic item. Exactly. But if you're just if you do something, you can stand out just as easily.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big ego thing. It's a big competition thing with all the designer, the expensive stuff. And then who's losing in the end? The person who's buying it, wasting all that money on that shit, when you could really, you could use that money and have such a great time with your mates instead. And what's better, being able to wear the shoes and get a few looks, or you got that sick, 2-3 day camp with your mates. It costed like half the price, all the funny memories and shit that happened. Dude, that's way more valuable.
Yeah, well, even the experience we were just on, like we drove from Sydney to Uluru in a $900 car.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe, I don't know, when we get back, probably maybe it's like $2,000 we spend or whatever it is, but that was, say it's $2,000. Yeah. $2,000 of the most like just life-changing experiences. We've had the best conversations, the funniest laughs, or I could go spend $2,000 on a watch to tell me the time.
Yeah,
which I could,
It's crazy, and that's over like 2 weeks. We've done that, so it's like 2 weeks of experience and memories that will last.
It's actually
forever.
nuts. I would love to do something like what you guys are doing, like someday. Just like just travel and do that sort of stuff.
It's so sick.
Love to make content out of it. Meet other people, and that's what it's about, right? Like enjoying yourself, enjoying what life has to offer. Life has so much to offer, but I think a lot of people are focused on the wrong parts of what life has to offer.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like it is. Yeah, it's just so much. Like I don't even know where to begin, man. Like I don't think everyone's focus is somewhere, but it's not me to, like I don't want to say like, oh, your focus is wrong. It's like, hey, if wearing designer brands and stuff, if that what makes you happy, then that's what makes you happy. That's cool. It's just that's
and it's also like your motive. You can speak from experience, because when you were like that, your motives for it weren't because I want to be happy. It was because I want people to like me and accept me, and I want to impress people. And it is quite, you can look at somebody else and assume their motive, and it's not good to assume, but you can even get their motive from them just by talking to them. You can figure out,
without directly
the reason you have all these materialistic items isn't because makes you feel good. It's because you just want other people to like you and be accepted.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly.
Back to like with content, what sort of content do you want to be putting out? Because I loved your idea of like the visual, like sort of journal that you have going on. It's so sick.
Yeah,
like you started, like you said, your first video was like
the day I dropped out.
Literally, and then like
sick,
now you just make videos all the time. Is it like a weekly thing you do, and do you want to keep doing that?
At the moment, like as of recently, it's been maybe like a couple videos a week, but pretty much like this is where the whole idea started from. I was always obsessed with like successful people. I was like, why do they have this and other people can't? Like, why is there only such a small percentage? So I'd be looking at all these interviews, podcasts, whatever, successful people, and I'm like, man, they talk about their journey, but I want to see the journey. I want to see like from the start, like what it's actually like. And then when I dropped out of uni, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to be successful, so I should start filming this now.
Yes.
So I started filming right from the beginning, everything.
That's so sick.
I got videos of being in the apartment with Alex, doing work with her. I've got videos from like when I was in the car, quitting my job to focus on training full time. I've got dude, everything is on my YouTube channel.
Bro, that is the sickest thing. And like, I know after this, I'm gonna go like when we're back home, I'm gonna go through all your catalog.
I got hundreds of videos.
Yeah, bottom to top, like just because that's so sick.
There's a lot, because it's not just trading videos, because it's like, okay, so when people say, for example, like, oh, like, who are you? If I say, oh, I'm Dion, I'm a trader, it's like, that's not who I am. That's just what I do.
Correct.
So my channel is about who I am. I can't tell you in words who I am, but if you watch the videos, you can see who I am.
Because you're doing it a disservice. When someone asks you like who you are, what you do, it's kind of like, I can't answer that in 5 minutes. It's so difficult. I have to tell you what my relationships are like. I have to tell you what I'm thinking when I'm by myself. Like, there's so much to it.
It is. So yeah,
you've nailed the perfect way to do it. Honestly, like almost everyone should have just a visual journey of shit they do.
I think it would be so sick, man, if everyone had this. Because then, obviously, maybe you could keep it private if you want to put out the content you want to put out. But I've been obsessed with documenting. When I was 18. My parents got me a journal for my birthday, and I've always been into writing. I keep everything. Like I keep not receipts, like in Cairns they have a cable park, right? And then you wear like the wristbands. So I keep all that shit. So I love keeping things, documenting memories, and I think that stems from my dad too. He used to collect Transformers when he was younger. Still got all the Transformers.
Sick.
He still keeps his like, he keeps, dude, everything, like flight tickets, like his first flight ticket. I kept my first flight ticket as well. So I wanted to find a way to be able to like put this out as well. And also, for example, if my house burns down, like I lose it. If my laptop breaks, my videos will still be on YouTube. They're not going anywhere. So I wanted to keep that because I want to eventually pass this on to either my children or, for example, another kid who's in the same position as me. Like, like, I want to see the journey of someone who started from nothing and then made their way. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give other people the content which I actually wanted to find, and I can't find it.
Did you find that the idea of like collecting all these things that are like developing this savage mindset, this grinding mindset, was any part of it just a motive and a segue to try and like connect with your dad and develop a better relationship with him?
Yeah, I think so. I've always like wanted my dad's like, what's the word?
Approval.
Yeah, because you know my dad's thing was like he told me, he's like, look, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your father. I'm gonna make sure that when you grow up, you're better than me and that you can raise your family. I'm not here to be like you be your friend sort of thing. So I never really got that the approval or nothing, and so I think I picked up a lot of these things subconsciously because one, like he is my ultimate role model. I only dream of being the kind of person he is. So that, and then also building that sort of relationship like was similar, because I remember like I still remember this so clearly. My dad and my mum were in the driveway. I couldn't see them, and I was trying to like lock my dog up or something. I was trying to put my dog away, and then I heard my mum say, "Oh my god, he's so much like you." And that hit. That was one of the happiest moments in my life, man. It really was. So, and I was young at the time, and I still feel the same way to this day. Like he's like the ultimate inspiration for me, and like I only like wish to be like portion of the person he is, man. Like it's interesting. And he has a lot to say. He's been on a fucking crazy journey. I mean, a lot of it would be personal, so I don't really say too much of it, but I mean, look, when you're moving from Vietnam, you're coming to Australia, like some of my family came on a boat and stuff, and they're talking about like pirates and how they come onto your boats, they'll take all your stuff, they rape the women and that sort of shit, and that's what they had to experience. And dude, it's crazy. So he's been through a very, very hard life to start with. He's at the moment like single father, raising like 4 children, so he's been through a bit, but the fact that he is still so strong, he's still so happy doing what he loves to do, and he's always spreading positivity, like that for me, that's a role model, man. Like I love that so much.
Do you want to be a father one day?
At the moment, no, because one day, yes. At the moment, no, because I just don't feel like I'm ready to be a father. I have my issues I'm still trying to deal with. I have a lot of issues I'm trying to deal with, like either it be financially, either it be characteristically as a person. Like I still got a lot of things. Like I'm not very disciplined still. I like to think I'm disciplined, but if
you can always be better.
It can always be better. It can always be better. There's a lot that I want to work on before I'm there.
What would you want it to look like if you are a father eventually?
Oh, okay. So first of all, I want to like be financially set so that I can provide, like, because I mean, look, that's my role, right? I want to be the provider and protector. So I got to be able to be fit, strong, and in a position to protect my family, and I want to be in a position to provide for my family, whatever that is. Look, I'm not saying I'm gonna wait until I'm a millionaire until I have kids. I just want to know like that I can. I'm ready. Like I'm in that position where I can do it. As a person, characteristically, I would like to be in like the best physical shape I possibly could be, because to get there, it's going to take a certain mindset, and I need to be extremely strong mentally to get to that stage, to be in my best physical shape. I want to be like clean of like everything. Like at the moment I'm like vaping and still smoking like weed. That can't be in the picture. That actually, I haven't smoked in a few days actually, because I had a chat with one of my roommates, and I've been telling him with all this stuff. Okay, quick tangent. It's nuts, right? Before yesterday, before meeting up with Ivan, before meeting up with you guys, setting up this podcast, and now I had other friend, like another girl, message me like, yo, let's get some content done together and shit. Before all of that, right? And I feel like this is the universe speaking, right? I was talking to my friend, like, dude, I'm just sick of this, man. I want to level up. I want to do something. I want to get better. Like I gotta level up, and the way to do this is I gotta get sober, I gotta get clean, right? But that's been the hardest challenge for me since I was like 16, like staying clean. I can go like here and there clean, but then I always come back. So I told him, like, okay, look, dude, like there's no more fucking around. I'm 25. If I keep playing around, like I'm disrespecting myself, I'm disrespecting my grind, and then in return, so by disrespecting myself, by not being the best I can, I'm letting my family down, I'm letting my business down, I'm letting all the potential people who I can help in the future down. I'm like, nah, this has got to change. So I told him, like, nah, fuck this, no more, not gonna smoke. Then that next day, Ivan messaged me, is like, hey dude, I'm gonna be in Rundle Mall. And then all of a sudden things just started clicking, things started doing better. I had like another like pretty big influencer message me today, like, hey dude, because he saw the story for this podcast, and he's like, when it's up, send me the link.
Yo.
And I was like, shit. And all these things just started clicking for me. And I was like, yeah, this is the universe telling me that I'm taking the right steps now, because it's starting to, I've made that choice that in my head, I'm not going to smoke. And then it's like, okay, like I feel, because I've said that to myself before, oh, I'm not going to smoke, but I know on the inside, like I will get back. And, and I feel like the universe, whatever it may be, fucking whatever you want to believe in, it knows that. It knows it's not genuine. Yeah. But I made that genuine choice. And then all of a sudden, like literally in 2 days, everything started popping and unfolding like crazy, man.
What are you going to do when that thought comes to mind now? Because it's probably inevitably going to come back.
Yeah, it inevitably will come back. I just have to understand that, like, look, I could either smoke, get high and chill, or I can continue working on my grind. At the end of the day, the more I smoke, the more I'm slowing myself down.
So when you smoke, what does that give you? Does that give you chill?
So
or?
Funny thing, like when I was in the apartment with Alex, right? When I was learning how to trade, I learned like things clicked. Like there was this one aha moment for me. I was just sitting there high as fuck on the couch, just looking. I was sitting there just like looking at the TV, and on the TV was my charts connected, and I was just looking at it. And then all of a sudden I picked up on something that clicked, and I was like, oh, I got it, this is it. And then for me, after that, I mean, look, since smoking from 16, 17, whatever, for me, it always found it like it helped me arrange my thoughts better. Now my thoughts are all over the place all the time. That's why writing things, making videos, putting it out helps me sort it out a bit. But I get a little bit like in my head a bit, and sometimes I just it's a bit intense. It's a bit it's very chaotic. And then when I smoke, it sorts things out, and then
puts the puzzle together.
It's like inventory. So it just like starts putting things into categories.
Exactly. It categorizes things. I start realizing what's important, what's not, what was a mistake that I did. For example, yesterday, if I was filming with like all you guys. If I had gone home and smoked, I'm sure something would pop in, but like, oh, dude, that maybe shouldn't have been something you said or something like that. So it I guess guides me to some extent. But with that being said, that's me being weak, relying on something to give me the power to control my own thoughts.
Okay, so you want to do, that's what I was getting at. It's like whatever that gives you kind of want to be off your dependence on that and just be able to do it without a substance.
Yeah, exactly. Because what happens if, okay, like, I don't know, like we just
disappears.
Deletes itself from
what are you going to do?
What am I doing? I'm not going to sit here and complain. I want to be extremely self-reliant. I don't want to have to rely on any like substances. I don't want to have to rely on any people. I mean, I'm sure there's times you do need to talk to your best friend about something, and I completely support that. But I do want to, as much as I can, like be self-reliant and be able to, not rely on like, drugs to help me think things out, or because that's just, I wouldn't say sad, but it's kind of weak that like, I can't control my own thoughts. I got to smoke sort of thing. Yeah. And it's not that bad. Like, I'm not going to lie.
But it could be.
Yeah. Like I can control my thoughts and this and that. But then again, it's the like psychological addiction to it or whatever. Cause it's not an addiction. It's a habit.
It's dependency.
It's dependency. Well. Like, and the funny thing is the reason why I haven't smoked is because when I do smoke, I get motivated and I just lock in and do work for hours. Like, so then now I'm in this battle of like, I smoke, but I'm still doing my work, and if anything, it motivates me to do more work. But then I could go clean and not smoke, but then I don't know. It's just this battle in my head of that, and that's one of the things. Like when you ask me if I want to have like kids or whatever, I can't be dealing with that. That's something that I need to improve on myself. That I still can't, and I'm still trying to. I just don't know how to deal with it.
When you said you want to be in the best physical shape, what does that look like for you?
Best physical shape, I would say, actually good question, because best physical shape, okay, so I guess it comes down to like fitness. I want to be very strong and very fit. It's actually not about the shape. That's a tricky one. Pretty much, I want to be very strong, very fit, very functional to the best of my ability, but I think I can't do that unless I'm clean, sober, disciplined with my training, eating well, sort of thing. So when I say best shape, I think I don't mean it like literally like best shape, because then it's like I think best shape could mean something different for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
It could be just the aesthetic.
Yes, the aesthetics and stuff. But look, I would love to be aesthetic, of course, but I think as
that's a byproduct.
It's a byproduct. It will come. So, but I would like to I think, just train every day, eat well, meal prep. Not gonna lie, I eat like shit, dude. Like at the moment, I eat like maybe 1 meal a day, and sometimes it's like half a burger of Hungry Jack's or something. Or sometimes like I made breakfast. I tried to make breakfast and I just can't eat. I had like 2 spoons of my oats, and I don't know. That's something else I need to try and figure out. Maybe that's that's just me. Maybe my body just doesn't need too much food. I don't know. But my diet's really trash. I'm not training as consistently as I would like to. And I'm just being honest with that.
Which is great. It's great that you're honest with it, because a lot of people will tell themselves that they're much better than they are. Yeah. And they'll tell others they're much better than they are.
Here's the thing, there's no growth in that. Like if you keep lying to yourself that you're good, you're eventually going to believe it. And then if you think that you're already good, then where's the room for improvement? I'm extremely harsh on myself all the time. And this is something that like my exes have pointed out to me many times, that dude, you're way too hard on yourself. But then it's like, think about why I'm so hard on myself. It's because what I want to achieve is it's a big goal. Like I have to be the absolute best person I can be. I have to be extremely strong. I need to have those.
No, I definitely share that mindset. Like I'm for sure my hardest critic. Yeah. And the danger in, I don't know, it is that interesting thing, because I'm sure there's both sides to it. But my whole view on it is the danger in not being that hard on yourself. And listening to what people say around you, is people around you generally for the most part praise you. Like your friends, your family, they're always going to say you're doing such a good job. Yeah. Like just stop working so hard or whatever it is. And you start to believe that, as you said. And then you really realize like you're not going to reach these amazing feats, these amazing potentials. Like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they didn't have people around them saying like, oh, like you're the best. Just stop. Enough. You don't need to work. You don't need to do those extra hours in the gym. It's like, no, I have to, because I want to be the absolute best. And the only way I get there is by doing this stuff. And like, look at what they both accomplished in their careers. It's the best.
And it's like, it's hard because it's like some people, they say like, oh, it's like toxic behavior, or it's like, you're being too hard. You have to give it, like, I fell into that whole self-care thing, like, give yourself the break. Self-care, yes, it's important, but it's not the same for everyone. Like maybe I can work for 23 hours a day and I only need 1 hour of self-care. Someone else may be different. So I think when people look at someone else's situation, they have like their personal situation. They're like, oh, if this is what I'm doing, this is what makes me feel good, this must be right for everyone. And they're like, dude, you need to take more breaks. It's like, why do I need to take more breaks if I can keep working and I can still perform at the same level and I genuinely don't feel fatigued? Why should I take a break? Like I'm just, So I don't know, a lot of people, I don't want to say like soft, but it is a little bit. I think some people have gotten like a little bit soft, or I don't know, the media is telling people like a lot of these messages, a lot of these things, and when I like look at it or read, I don't know any particular examples at the moment. I'm like, wow, like you shouldn't listen to this shit. Like, I don't know.
Well, it comes down to the balance. Like, as in, like, you can preach these things of working hard, and you can preach these things of not working hard. But it's like, I think where the median is in most things is the balance between the two sides. Like, if you can find your balance of where that fits best in for you, and depends on what your balance looks like.
I was gonna say that.
What does your relax look like? Like, what does that actually look like for you? It's like, for us on this trip, it's been like, we've done a lot of serious stuff, obviously, and it's been very mentally taxing. But like, how we'll combat that is just talking shit. We'll just start talking. We'll just be talking shit and like off camera, or like
just dance to some Swedish music.
Like we have this song that we've been listening to. I think it's like on TikTok. It's big, but anyway, like it's like, well, I forget what it's called. It's like Baddest of Them All or something. And dude, like we've just been dancing to that every now and again. It's so dumb.
Dude, I do the same shit, man. Like literally before you guys rocked up, like I'm in my room playing music, dancing, and just that's how I also like release, because I'm sitting down, I'm looking at charts. All in my head is just numbers and like all the time.
You just need to do some weird shit.
Yeah, he's got to do some weird shit, and the good, like, I'm so happy that my roommates, they're cool with it. They know the person. I can be very serious. I can be a very hard worker, but I can also be the most stupid, goofy person.
Good, which is great. Because people fall into their own persona of trying to be like, oh, I need to work hard. That's who I am now. It's like, it just ruins you. It's going to eat your work, because then you feel like you have to uphold this like level of seriousness, and then your ability to actually, when you are serious, impact with whatever you're trying to do. It's just not there.
I just want to be myself. That's what it comes down to. And I feel like when you're growing up, you're not forced by a lot of people are, you're told certain things are wrong. You're too loud, you're too crazy, sit down, shut up, like be more quiet, do this, do that. It's like, no, I never listen to that, because I'm like, you're essentially telling me not to be me. And I was born in this world like me, and I'm gonna die in this world as me. Like I want to be like myself like throughout my whole life. And if you don't accept it, you don't accept it. That just means you're not right for me, I'm not right for you. But there will be people who you can like match well with, and I can still be silly and whatever, and some people accept it, and it's good. I mean, I'm not completely like a spastic, but I do have my spastic moments, but it's all for good fun, you know. Like no one's getting harmed. Exactly. I'm not getting harmed. It's just good. Like it's just everyone's laughing. It's good vibes. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I've always wanted to keep like my inner child, like from myself as a kid. I never wanted to change that, because that's when I've just felt happy. It was when people were trying to suppress that is when I felt sad.
Well, because I guess that's the progression, right? As in, like, when we're really young, we just do whatever we want, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. But then, as the years go on, we're told not to do certain things, and that just banks. So by the time you're 40, you've been told not to do all these things, so you've just conformed. So it's like trying to just hold on to what you are as a kid. Like, I try and do that too. 100%.
I still like enjoy my video games. I still like, I'm not afraid to be like, oh yeah, like I still love Pokemon, or I still want to buy these Transformers and stuff. It's like, that's who I am. That's what I like. You know?
Definitely.
Who's to say that like, oh, when you turn 25, you need to eliminate all childhood passions?
Yeah,
or
it's
like,
so dumb. Yeah, and I feel like it doesn't usually work. Like people don't tell you not to do it. It's more like what people tell you to do, then transforms into you not doing those things. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no,
be
you
more
should.
mature.
Yeah, it's like you should be going out to dinner with your friends. It's like at a nice restaurant having a serious conversation about your income and how much you hate your job. Like, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either.
Yeah,
for sure.
I want to be by myself doing dumb shit.
A lot of it comes back to people who are afraid of what other people think of them, and they're too fixated on that. So it's, you know, like the more you can blend in, the more you can be a square and just be a number amongst society, the better it is. But it's the worst thing you can do, because ultimately you're going to diminish your ability to eventually like help more and more people, but you're also going to diminish like your own happiness, your own fulfillment, your joy. Whereas like if you can just be happy and wear whatever you want to wear and run down the street like wearing a dinosaur costume, like
that's so funny that you say that, because like, oh, I forgot the exact words that you said, but pretty much like, being scared of like what people think of you, right? I had identified that as being one of my weaknesses, hence like the designer items when I was younger and stuff. So recently what I've started to do is like, fuck, what would be extremely embarrassing to do? So running around the city topless. So guess what I did?
You did it?
Yeah, I took off my top. I wrote buy ETH, like one of the cryptocurrencies, on my back, and then wrote BTC across my chest.
No way.
And fucking out there, the dollar sign was backwards, so like and I was like, fuck it, let's go. So I just ran through the city, went through Chinatown.
No way.
Yeah.
how was that?
It was so good.
Liberating?
Liberating's the best way. It was so awesome. And then I posted that's one of the reels on my Instagram and stuff as well. So, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm scared to do this, so I did it, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'll put it on social media for more people to see. So I've been doing more. I went on another topless run yesterday, which was awesome. Even like sharing a lot of the personal stuff with you guys, obviously, like I don't, like, it's a bit uncomfortable. But that's what I want to do, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get over it.
It promotes growth.
Exactly, it promotes growth. And it's like, I feel like maybe it could help someone watching.
100%.
There's so much health in like we're always trying to order ourselves, but there's so much health in like chaos. Like as in like really trying to find your balance between order and chaos. That's huge. Like running around the city topless, like that is just chaotic as hell. Like you're doing crazy fun shit. But like if you were ordered, it just puts you in that square every time.
I really, really don't want to be a part of that square, and that's something that I've realized. I don't know where it came from, but I've never wanted to conform to society.
No, same, bro.
I've always worn like real, like in high, or maybe in like uni and stuff, I would on purpose just wear very bright, flashy colors. It's like
so many people can relate to that.
I love
They're
it.
more than we think. A lot of people have that, but they just suppress it and just put it down.
Do you know Cam Haines?
No, I don't.
Okay, he's like a American ultra endurance athlete and like one of the best bow hunters in the world. And I read his book, and he's a very hard man, and he just uses the term average sucks, and he says like he's probably too hard, but he told his kids from like day one, like average sucks, do not be average. And yes, a lot of people have problems with that, but I love the core message of like don't try to fit into this square. Like, you are an individual. Every single human is different in so many ways. Don't try to conform to just what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, because then it's like, why? Just so that you can like feel like you're a part of it, but then that's not you. And then, I've always wanted to be my true self, and I think that's one of like my extremely core values. Like, I want to be my true self. So I will say things to people if I truly believe it, or I will do what I want to do. Of course, it does have its downsides. For example, when I quit my job, that you need to give a 2-week notice or whatever. I was like, I don't want to give a 2-week notice. I'm quitting today, sort of thing. So that's like a bit bad, but generally, I've always wanted just to be my truest self, enjoy what I want to enjoy, and like
there's so much stigma around being selfish.
Yeah,
like, as it's such a bad thing, but sometimes it's healthy.
It's very good. I mean, think about it. If you're battling with some really deep things, right? But then you're someone who, say like your friends always want you to hang out with them or something, and you're going through some shit, you don't want to hang out with them, and then you just disconnect yourself from them, they'll be like, dude, that's very selfish. But like, we want to hang out with you, and they see it as a bad thing, but it's like, dude, like, this is for me. Like, being selfish is actually helping me, and
100%.
But it's also going to help them. Like, as in,
it helps everyone. Like, if you're the bread getter of a town, if you're the guy that, I don't know, say you get honey from the mountains, you're the only one that can do it in this village. You go up, you get the honey, come back. If you constantly just give it to everyone and leave none for yourself, you're eventually going to die from starvation, and then no one can go get honey for the village. It's like, you have to always save a piece for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a big like misconception a lot of the people have. Like, when they think being selfish is bad, I'm like, nah, dude. Like, sometimes being selfish is so important. Like,
everything you do is selfish. Like, them, what they're saying about like, we want to hang out with you, that's selfish.
Yeah.
Like, everything you do, like hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
Or even just I guess giving a gift to a friend or helping a friend out. That's selfish because it makes you feel good.
Like, so when you're like, donating to someone, it's like you're doing that to feel good or whatever.
It helps you feel good. So it's like, everything's selfish. So just take what you will from it, and just be as selfless as much as possible, but also be selfish.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I really enjoy. Like, the balance between being selfish and selfless as well. Like, I am extremely selfish when it comes to my work, my personal growth, but then I'm also extremely selfless with everything else. I give as much as I possibly can to everyone. But then also with balance, I think that's a big misconception. When people hear balance, they think 50-50. But it's not at all. Like, your balance is going to be personal to you. Like, maybe my balance is 80-20, or your balance is this and that. But then again, it's like, you shouldn't, like, it doesn't matter what just try, like, work, and then when you get tired, just stop. And then when you feel like you want to work again, do it. Like, I'm trying to put these words together. It's like, people and society and media say that things should be a certain way or whatever, but really, like, it's not. Like, just be, if you're self-aware, then you know what's good for you.
100%.
And if you just follow that, you follow your gut and you understand yourself enough, and that will come with being selfish enough to spend enough time with yourself to get to learn yourself, or however way you do it. Like, some people find themselves through sport. I found myself through trading, and that came from extreme selfishness, but then that also taught me my balance, what I'm capable of, what I can do and stuff. So,
which is so beautiful, man.
Oh, it's so nice, man.
It's so sick to know that we've met you at this point, because I'm assuming if we met you like 6, 7, 8 years ago, we probably wouldn't have got along. Probably just wouldn't have spoken to each other.
Yeah, no, not at all,
but
man.
The fact
isn't that nuts? That you can have like, you can be like this, you can meet people, but if you met them earlier, it's just like totally different. Or even later, like,
or even later, man. Like, 6, 7 years, I would have been 19. I would have been in the midst of just like my shit in high school and uni and stuff. So, yeah, I wouldn't, because at the time I wasn't making content. I was like so directionless, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was put in uni because it's like, look, my dad's like, go to uni, do this, get a job. So I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I was just existing at that point. I wouldn't say I was living, I was existing. The only thing that made me happy was like having a sesh with my mates.
Yeah.
That's it. Just have a sesh with mates, like, make some music. That's it. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to touch on or say?
Yeah. Pretty much, like, look, I don't want people to think that you're born into a life and you've been set expectations by whoever, whatever it is, and that you have to do it like that. Because you don't. And I think if you do and you end up conforming to that, you're kind of wasting your life. You'll convince yourself that I'm living a good life. You'll convince yourself I like what I do. But really, I don't think many people actually like what they do, and they've just convinced themselves of this. So, look, I'm come from an Asian background. If there's any other Asians listening, you know how scary it is to like, I'm gonna drop out of uni and I'm gonna be a day trader. There's something like that. Like do what you want to do. Like don't ask for permission. Honestly, of course this is in a good context. Like don't ask for permission. Do what you want to do. And I genuinely believe that you can do anything you want to do as long as you put the time in. You're constantly improving. That's pretty much it. Just don't give up. Constantly improve and work on it.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline. Anything that anyone has ever achieved, they're human. So are we.
Yeah.
The only difference is maybe, you know, they were smart enough to build a team. They were smart enough to get a specialist to do this work for them. But eventually they figured it out. They put in the work. They put in the discipline. They worked smart. Like I genuinely, like anyone could do anything. Like when I found out who Elon Musk was, man, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
How can this one dude do all of this?
Yeah,
like,
bro.
holy shit. Like, you know, I don't know if he's happy or not, but the fact that it's possible to achieve and do something like that, like, dude, anyone can. And people have dreams of being an athlete, or even if it's a dream of being I'm gonna use the athlete as an example. Like, dude, what's stopping you? Like, you put in genetics and stuff. That plays a part. There's a little bit, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you got a goal, like, really, like, don't give up on it and keep going. I started my thing of like trying to be a professional trader, or I just want to like make a good living trading 2.5 years ago. I'm still going, man. Like, I'm still renting a cheap apartment. I'm not rich. I'm not balling. I can't buy a Rolex or whatever. And that's been my goal for the past few years. I've always wanted to have a Rolex, but now not for the flex of the Rolex. I just want it on my desk so I can be like, I wanted it. I went out and I achieved it. Like, it's a trophy.
That's sick.
It's almost like your vision of walking down to the beach. It's like having the beach there, but in a smaller, more practical form.
Literally.
Cool.
I was talking to Ivan about this yesterday, and he's got a really nice car. He's got I don't know what it's called, but he's got a real nice car, and we're talking about it, and he's like, dude, this is my trophy. And I'm like, dude, fucking oath. That of course, like, you worked extremely hard and you got it, and you get to enjoy it or drive around in your car and really like soak it in. Like, I didn't have this car. There was that thought, the idea that I wanted it, you made it happen. That's with me, like the Rolex. Like, I've always been, I loved watches. I love watches. And I've always wanted this one particular Rolex, and I've printed it out. It's on my desk, on the wall at home. It's printed out, and you can see, like, I will have this by my birthday 2020, and then cross it out. I will have this by my birthday so I keep crossing it out, and I don't care, like, and I share that. I will get it.
It doesn't matter, because the whole thing is, I will have it.
Yeah, I will have it. And for me, I'm in it for the long run. It doesn't matter if I get it in 5 years, whatever. It's just the fact that I eventually got it. That's my trophy, because that Rolex that I will eventually buy is going to represent the courage to drop out of uni, to pick up my trading. It's going to represent the discipline, the willpower, which I had created within myself to get it. It would represent, you know, the whole change of like being this person who I was in high school to then switching it up. That is it doesn't have to be a Rolex, it could be anything, but the fact is that trophy is going to represent that journey up until then. And
that's so beautiful.
That's awesome.
And I think that's so like I don't know, that's what I'm striving for, I guess.
How did you get into visualization?
Through my dad. My dad taught me about visualization when I was competing in kiteboarding. So he would tell me that, like, before he would even play badminton, before he went to go compete, the coaches would be like teaching them about visualization, about, you know, how it's going to work this way, how are you going to play this if he does that, and just sitting there, you're thinking the meditation. So it stemmed from that. And then I saw this study about basketball. So they got people who would they got like I think 2 or 3 groups, a controlled group where they didn't train and they just shoot like 3-pointers or from the what's it called,
The box, the key, whatever it is.
Just shoot from the key or whatever. They didn't train, they didn't practice. Then they got a group that did practice, and then they've got a group that didn't do anything but visualize, and their performance outperformed. So, and then I was like, dude, this is an actual study that was done. My dad's, his badminton team's sports psychologists were teaching them visualization.
There's got to be something to it.
Got to be something to it. Started looking at more professional athletes, podcasts, interviews, other successful people. And the thing is, they've always had that vision. Always had that vision. And I feel like that's something with me, like, I've always had the vision too. Like, whatever it is, driving around in a Ferrari with my Rolex on, or either it be just being in a nice big house with my family having dinner, or I've always like had some sort of vision. Like I can see it like in my head. Like, and another thing, like this is actually very interesting. There's a real estate dude, and when he was younger, he drew his dream house, drew his dream wife. The chick who he ended up marrying looks fucking identical, and he's got the same house.
No way.
It's nuts, man.
That's so sick.
Should have drawn a bigger house. No.
Should have drawn a bigger house. Dude, it's fucking huge.
Don't worry, he did draw a
This
big
guy's got
one.
like 4 Bugattis and shit.
Damn,
like he's rich, man. It's crazy. But yeah, how did I get into visualization? It came from my dad, and it came from sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I now that you've said that, like that's something I need to do a little bit more in terms of like I feel like some aspects I have visualized like out.
Yeah.
But there is other aspects that I need to like actually sit down and be like, what do I actually want out of that? What do I want that to look like in a certain year's time?
Yeah.
So what have you visualized for yourself?
Well, by the time I'm 30, I want to be completely like, I want to be financially set. I want to at least have a house for my family. I don't know about myself, but I want to have, I want to put them in a nice house for them. And yeah, just like fit, healthy, financially free. And the house for my family, something like that.
What I like about that is they're all things that are in your control.
Yeah.
Like you didn't say I want to have a wife because like
I can't control that.
exactly that's something out of your control, but you can control how much money you earn. You can control like your health and fitness to a degree. Obviously disease can happen, but it's beautiful that your goals are very like they're in your hands.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we can only work on what we can work on. There's things that we have no influence over. For example, I wake up in the morning and say the coffee machine breaks. Am I really gonna get pissed that the coffee machine's broken? Like I couldn't control. That's out of my it's out of my control. Why should I get angry at that? But what I can do is instead, do something else. Go get a coffee from somewhere else. So it's called like the circle of influence and the circle of concern. Have you heard of those? Yeah. So I really want to focus on my circle of influence, like things that I can actually work on, and those things I can actually work on. But if I was to say like, I want to have this kind of wife, whatever. You can't control that sort of thing. But those are ultimately like that's where I see myself in 5 years from now.
Oh yeah.
So very excited. It's just a day by day grind, man. Day by day, and things that unfold quick. Over the past 2 days, I could never have imagined. Like I'll be on my first podcast, for example. Like it's not. I've been waiting. My mate wanted me to go on his podcast too.
Yeah, you
but,
mentioned Ali.
Ali, things like not fell out. Things got in the way. I wasn't at home. So, but
I'm so glad we took that crown.
Dude, literally, first podcast. Mark, I hope he's not going to be pissed, man. I hope he's not going to be pissed, but yeah, he's another trader, so I think that would be more so like a trading thing. But definitely some psychological, philosophical stuff too. He goes deep with that stuff too.
That's sick.
Yeah,
we need to check out his stuff. You showed us a little bit yesterday. It looks awesome.
100%, yeah. 100%. He's
sick. Yeah, so we what we do is we do this thing with all our guests. We get them to give us a challenge. Yeah. So what we'll do is like ask anyone listening, yourself, can practice that challenge throughout the week that this like pod comes out in.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just over the week.
Yeah. So it's either if you want it to be over a day during that week, or it can be over the 7 days. Yeah. Whatever you want.
I want anyone who's watching this for the next week, literally, when you wake up, do your bed and have a glass of water and a few push-ups, 3 to 5 push-ups. If you can do that every single day for the week, awesome. Try and continue it, because these little things, it's like the core of core of discipline. If you can get up and make your bed every day, if you can get up and even just walk to the kitchen and make your glass of water, drink your glass of water, and just have those 2-3 things which you do consistently, dude, that's the people don't understand. Like that's the secret to the success, man. Like I mean, I'm not successful like in like some regard, but I do think to be happier, to get to where you want to be, you need those simple habits. It's not about doing your bed. It's not about having a glass of water. It's the fact that you're staying consistent with something, and you most likely won't. Sometimes you wake up in bed and you grab your phone instead. But if you like you wake up, get out of bed, do your bed, have a glass of water, just do a few push-ups. That's a good morning for me. Like your morning's like nice, and you go along with the rest of it. And you do the same the next day. Do the same the next day, because how hard is it to have a glass of water, do your bed, and do like 2 push-ups in the morning? It's not hard. I think everyone can do it. And if you can't do push-ups, maybe do some sit-ups or
do whatever you can.
Just do whatever you can. Even if it's like just running around one lap of the block. Even if it's just walking around the block. Just go for a little walk.
We can all do something, and it's the underlying theme of discipline. Just doing that thing that you don't necessarily want to do, but is just going to pay dividends, and it's going to be so good for you.
Exactly, and that's what I've been focusing on, like doing my bed every day, having the water and stuff. But lots of little.
Can confirm your bed's made as well.
Oh
yeah. We saw.
Bed is made. Bed is made. Desk is clean. Water, a cup of water's empty. So
Awesome, dude. Love that challenge. Dope. All right.
Cool.
Done.
Peace out. 2, 2, 1, C.
Catch you on the next one.
Boom.